Hello everybody, this is Pranal here, also known as Lateriser 12. Welcome to the FPL Wire. If you're new on here, we do a weekly pod where Pras, Zoff and I are doing a pod. We do a weekly team selection video and we've done a ton of preseason content this season. There's a chat with Josh from Liverpool. There's a chat with Baker who talks to us about Spurs. There's the best FPL attacker spot. There's the best FPL defense spot. There's just a lot on this channel. And if you've loved what we've done, or if you even liked what we've done this preseason, hit the like and subscribe button. Now, I want to try and make this video a little zippy. I want to try being 20 minutes or under because it's Gameweek1 is 2 days away. I'm recording this on the Wednesday evening, Indian Standard Time, before the Spurs game. So I reserve the right to change my team a little if Spurs are a little too impressive. But this is not my. I'd say that this is my final draft in brackets, almost, I reckon. All right, let's get into the swing of things. Before we get into the swing of things, just wanted to say if you fancy joining us on our Patreon or hanging on our Discord with us, which is what you should be doing. It's buzzing at the moment. It's sort of like a groupthink operation where everybody's just having fun chatting, figuring our teams out. Then we've got a 50% off on the first month on Patreon, and we've got a yearly deal off where 2 months out of 12 are off as well. So pick whichever deal you like, scan this QR code or click on the link in the description below, and you can use the code GW1. That's right, code is GW1 to avail that 50% discount. Wait, there's a slide that I built. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. I want to go for this slide. Early thoughts in terms of where I am with my team and what the general principles are. Don't ignore new rules. Defensive contribution points, DEFCON points are a thing. If your defender hits defensive contribution points twice, it's almost like he's clocked a clean sheet. That's amazing. It's almost more predictable than goals and assists if you really think about it. You can say that you want to stay away from it, but I don't think you can ignore the rules. At least a couple of picks in your team should be there trying to take advantage of these rules. With my attack, what I've tried to do is try getting attackers from good front foot teams. So, teams that are in the higher end of the spectrum when it comes to XG, a few good picks, a few sexy puns, just trying to get attackers from good teams because I like to watch football as well. So I want to tune in when those teams are playing. Mix of chase the ceiling, dream about the stars picks as well as steady picks because I like to have fun in FPL. So I can't be playing boring template. I'm allowing myself a couple of saucy, spicy picks. That's what I'm looking to do with my team. So it's a good mix of both. I'm keeping a couple of players that I love as well. And you got to back the instinct, right? Because you want to have fun playing this game eventually. There is a macro that the Gameweek 13 wildcard is very, very good because City, Liverpool, and Newcastle have great fixtures Gameweek 13 onwards. But I think it's City and Liverpool. They have good fixtures Gameweek 6, 7 onwards as well. And so do Chelsea and so do Arsenal at that point. So if there's a flurry of new information and there's advantage to take off it, if I can sort of wildcard 6, 7, 8, if there's an opportunity, I'm open to it. Also, wanted to say that I was earlier looking at bench boost 1 or 2, but with the emergence of Guillaume as a pick and Dubravka as a pick, and we're not sure how the minutes are going to look game week 1 or 2. I have been that thought and I will bench boost if they emerge as picks a little later. Right now, I just have Guillaume and Dubravka in my draft as potential bench boost options for the future. Also, if I want to wildcard game week 5, 6, I want to try going into a wildcard with maybe 2 or 3 free transfers. In general, I want to try accumulating more transfers rather than using them in spaces of 1, 2, or 3. There's not a firm rule. It's just something I want to try doing because I think transfers are more powerful if used in bunches of 3, 4 rather than using 1 or 2 transfers together. So I'm going to try accumulating more transfers this season, which is why you'll see that I've done more planning than usual in my team selection video. You'll see that later. All right, let's talk about the defense first because I'm fairly settled on my attack and I will come to that later. But the key blocks of my defense is what we spoke about in terms of don't ignore the rules. In case you don't already know, if your defender hits 10 total of clearances, blocks, interceptions, and tackles, then he gets 2 extra points. So if you notice, there are certain teams which are very good at CBIT, which is Forest, Palace, Everton. And then there are teams like City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Liverpool that are not very good at CBIT per match as well. And we'll deep dive into this later and tell you which defenders are good with CBIT, etc. as well. But when I look at Forest, Palace, and Everton, they're not poor defenses. They're pretty good defenses as well. They're just fairly reliable, middling defenses that have high upside with CBIT potential as well. And what happens with Nottingham Forest? They happen to have 4 really good clean sheet fixtures in the first 6 weeks. They've got Brentford at home, West Ham at home, Burnley away, and Sunderland at home in the first 6 weeks. I'm chancing on hitting maybe 2 cleans and maybe 2 or 3 CBIT points, defensive contribution points in the first 6 weeks. That's why I have my Forest defenders in there. Everton have good fixtures as well. They've got Leeds. I think Brighton at home. I think Everton at home against anyone outside the top 5 teams is always good for a clean sheet. Good chance for a clean sheet. So Leeds, Wolves, Brighton, West Ham, Palace at home. I think these are good fixtures where I try to get clean sheets. If I don't get clean sheets, if I'm going for somebody like Taco, who had the highest amount of defensive contribution points last year, then I'm hoping that he gets at least a floor of 4 points. And I'm hoping to spike in one of the few games where he gets 2 points for appearances, 2 points for defensive contributions, 4 points for a clean sheet, and maybe a bonus or 2. So I'm hoping to spike a couple of 8 to 10 points from these centre backs from Forest and Everton. Crystal Palace don't have the best fixtures to start the season. Chelsea, Forest, Aston Villa is tough. But then they have Sunderland and West Ham. And then they have Everton and Bournemouth in Gameweek 7 and 8. Now, I know that I love Munoz as a long-term pick. But he's one I was struggling with because there's been rumors of Gehi moving to Liverpool. That said, I think Lacroix is the most important part of that defense in terms of moving things around. I don't think Gehi is that important. I think Crystal Palace will have future plan for this. Is the problem with Eze, where if he leaves, then I think Palace might struggle in transition. That's why I just love Munoz too much. I genuinely love the player too much. So I'm going with him. And I can hide him in Gameweek 6. I'll show the rotation. Then I have Chelsea away, which is a tough one. Then I've got Forest, Villa, Sunderland, West Ham, Everton, Bournemouth. I'll take my chances with Munoz. I've got Dorgo in there, which is purely a selfish personal pick, believing in my boy, believing in United doing better. And I'm not going to play him many weeks. He's just 4.5 million, so he's going to be a part of a rotation for me. And earlier I was going for Steve, but as you will see in the rotation, I just think that Leeds are going to be a much better team than Burnley. I think Burnley are odds on to be the worst team in the league. I do believe in Leeds a little more, and they might be useful for me in game week 4 and 5 and 6, which is why I'm going to go with a Leeds defender instead of a Burnley one. Defenses that I'm ignoring: Arsenal, but then they've got United, Liverpool, Forest, City, and Newcastle in the first 6 weeks. This is a good hop on, hop off point where you can move from a Forest defender to an Arsenal defender if need be in game week 7. I'm ignoring the City defense. City have good fixtures at the start of the season. Ed Nouri is somebody who's tempting me, but is he a part of a rotation? I'm hoping to wait for the first 5-6 weeks and then find out if he's going to be permanent or rotation. That's it. I just don't see a world in which he doesn't start 5 out of 6 weeks. That's where I am. Liverpool I'm ignoring, but they have game week 2 and 3. They've got Newcastle and Arsenal, and I don't have as much belief in the Liverpool defense at the start of the season. If I need to jump on them, if any of my earlier defenders look like duds, I can go on them game week 4, 5, 6. But I'm just going for high floor DEFCON picks at the moment from middling defenses if they work out well enough. If they don't work out, I'll switch to a 6 million defender if need be. Chelsea is the defense I'm ignoring at the moment, and I don't feel great about that because they've got pretty good fixtures. Crystal Palace at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Brentford, United, Brighton, Liverpool. But I feel like Sells has more banker fixtures than Sanchez. And I also feel like Sanchez, like the replacements that Chelsea have are pretty good. So like if Sanchez gets dropped because of a couple of howlers, I think Jorgensen is pretty good, man. He could come into the play. So I have slight doubts about this. And Cucurella, as attacking, he's a great pick. Very, very attacking. He doesn't get DEFCON points. And I don't want to ignore the new rules. So that's where I am with my defense. Also, Spurs defenders are good picks. A lot of people are on Porro. And him versus Burnley is a nailed on 8-10 pointer. At least a 6 pointer. That said, the fixtures after that, City, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, they're all right. And I just don't know whether I want to place trust in that Spurs defense as things stand. This is where I am today. This video is getting recorded on Wednesday. If things change later, we'll see. I'm ignoring Anderson as well for my boy Dorgo because I think he's got upside. And I don't think there are banker clean sheet fixtures for Anderson, but I think he's very useful in game week 4 and 5. Should you need him. All right. Just some important information. Shout out to my friend Tom Hadley. If you're not following him on X, do it. He's doing incredible data and posting some great numbers on X. Follow him, FPL underscore Tom Hadley. This is what I'm trying to spike with the players that I have in my team. I've got Tarkowski and Murillo in my team. Now, Tarkowski has hit clean sheets and DEFCON points 80% of the times. Murillo has done the same 67% of the times, which is why I'm attracted to do. Milinkovic has not done that. Milinkovic tends to hit DEFCON points in the tougher fixtures. Williams has done that 40% of the times. Now, I saw some data comparing Murillo and Milinkovic in the second half of the season. I also cited this data. Milinkovic and Murillo were neck and neck for DEFCON points. I just think while Milinkovic has a significantly higher goal threat, Murillo has highest bonus points potential and he's got a higher flow when it comes to DEFCON points. So I'm just going for the more repeatable, predictable situation why I'm preferring Murillo to Milinkovic at the moment. Also, Williams could spike an attacking return or two in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks because they've got easy fixtures. But I just like the floor. I have a feeling in those 4 banker games, in the first 6 game weeks, we might get a 10-point clean sheet from Murillo because of bonus plus DEFCON plus clean sheet. Maybe once or twice. That's what I'm chasing at the moment. Munoz is somebody I just love, so I don't want to talk about it further, but he doesn't have much CS potential and DEFCON together at the same time as well. But he's capable of attacking returns on both sides of the pitch. You saw how attacking he was. Maybe if Eze goes, his role is to create more as an attacker from that right-hand side as well. So we'll see. I just love Munoz, man. That's the thing. I have bias and I don't want to say otherwise. This data is from Solio Analytics. I'm looking at a shorter-term wildcard approach. So this is just some numbers there. It's interesting that Virgil, Gabriel, and Saliba are up there, but the start for them is a little dicey. Later they pick up. But the 5.5 million defenders in Murillo and Tarkowski aren't far away. Lacroix is higher than Munoz because of the defensive contribution potential, but Munoz is also not far away. So I've got Murillo, Tarkowski, and Munoz in there who feature in the top 7-8 defenders. I'm ignoring Poro. If you can see, he's got like highest projected points in Gameweek1, and then a lot of people are looking to shift him to somebody else Gameweek2, whether that's Ait Nouri, Cucurella, or Munoz. They'll see. Man, Poro scares me Gameweek1. We really are hoping for a Burnley goal, hoping against hope in Gameweek1. But we'll see. We'll see how Spurs play tonight. I'm open to shifting things around at the moment. All right, just before we move further, all the tables that you see on this podcast I've always seen is from the Fantasy Football Scout members here. They've done a tremendous job with DevCon points as well as every other situation, members articles, etc. So you want to become a member, you can get 5% off by using the code FFS, the Wire 5. Scan this QR code and become a member, or click on the link in the description below. So yeah, this is my team. I've got Cels and Murillo as my keepers. I told you I'm not confident about Sanchez. And I'm feeling a little FOMO taking on Chelsea defense and Spurs defense, which is what a lot of people are doing at the start of the season. But I just feel like Forest has more banker fixtures. That's what I'm relying on. But I want to see whether I want to change this up. So, I can easily convert my 3 5.5 defenders. I can convert, when I go Murillo down to, let's say, Nico Williams, for example, I can convert a Tarkowski or a Munoz to Ait Nouri Cucurella. That's still open. So if that changes by game week, by Friday, we'll see. But at the moment, this is my defense. I could still get in Cucurella, Ait Nouri, and Nico Williams, and then sell one of Munoz or Tarkowski. That's where I am. But clearly, I think it's 65% likely that I stick with this defense. And I've got Goodmanson or Rodon instead of Steve, because I'm not bench boosting Game Week 1 or 2. Actually wonder if it's useful to play Goodmanson, Everton at home Game Week 1 instead of Munoz, but I just love Munoz too much, man. That's my problem. Let's talk about my picks outside of defense as well. How many minutes are we in? We're 14 minutes in already. I mean, I've gone for a no Haaland draft because I feel like Salah's a great captaincy option Game Week 1, 4 and 5. I think Haaland's going to punish us, but a forward just has to do too much to match the points of a midfielder. That's just the truth. A midfielder gets an extra point for a goal. A midfielder gets an extra point for a clean sheet. And so it's almost like if Salah gets 1 goal, a clean sheet, Haaland needs 2 goals to surpass him. He needs 2 goals to surpass him. That's how I see. But I do think Haaland's got great potential to do that at the start of the season, given his fixtures at the start of the season. I think Wolves, Spurs at home, and then Brighton are 3 very, very good fixtures. I won't be surprised to see Haaland on 5 goals after this. But I just made my bet with Salah and Wirtz. I want a piece of the Liverpool attack. Like you see, good attacks, right? All of them. Like Liverpool, I think, are going to be the highest scorers in the league. For people wanting to presume, like Josh said on the Liverpool pod, that Salah's goal share might go down and you want to go in with, let's say, Wirtz and Ekitike or Wirtz and Gakpo and get Haaland instead, good luck, man. I think that's fine. I've got Haaland and Salah. I think they're going to be the best attack in the league. I want an action. I want a piece of that action. I've got Palmer and Pedro in there. Again, Palmer's Palmer. I'm the biggest Cole Palmer fan. I think he's got the potential to step up to Salah's level this season. Chelsea might be a sleeper team who might be challenging for the title this season. You never know. Pedro's in there despite his minutes questionability because Delap exists. It's just because he's got the it factor. He's got the aura. And even if he gets 70 minutes, I feel like Chelsea might create a lot more chances and he might be more of a 9 than a 10 in that Chelsea team. So I'm just giving Pedro a shot because I like the fixtures at the start of the season as well. If it doesn't work, I have an out in Benjamin Šeško in Gameweek 3 who plays Burnley at home. There's Solanke who's an option. I can go down to Strand Larsen in Gameweek 5 or 6 if I need to be. There are options. I've considered the price points as well. But again, Chelsea, you'd say they're a top 5, top 6 attack in the league. Similarly for City, I don't have any other action. But I was on TJ Reinders before his brace. He's just got the potential to be a Gundo. And in 3 or 4 of the positions, I've just chased the stars. And if I hit 2 out of those 4 positions, I think I'm in a good position. What are my chase the ceiling picks and options? Pedro, Munoz, Reinders, and Jorginho, Rutter. Like if they work out, if 2 of the 4 of them work out, I think I'm in a good position. So that's the thinking there. Rutter is a pick because I believe that he might be starting as a number 9 in that Brighton team. But again, he has the same minutes questionability that a Pedro does, that a Reinders has. But if he plays striker, I believe Brighton are a top 10 attack in the league. They were 6th for XG in the second half of the season. I think Ursula's just a front foot manager and he might be the Joao Pedro. I also was in FPL Joe Jonty's DMs and Az's DMs and both of them gave me good confirmation bias. Shout out to FPL Instinctive as well, who I spoke to. And the proof is that the last 2 games, the team which looked like the first choice team, which had Minte, March, O'Reilly, and Rutter start together as a front 4. And I also like that Rutter has versatility. He can play as the 9, he can play as the 10, he can play on either side as well. So I'm hoping this works. If it doesn't work, we have a lot of options at 6.5 million in Sar, Rogers. If we can go down to Dewsbury Hall, Stack, there are options there. That said, if we find out tomorrow or day after that Rogers is fit, then I can maybe think of going Murillo down to Williams and Sells down to a 4.5 million keeper and just upgrade Rutter to Rogers. But at this point, I'm too attached to the pick. So that's where I am. Watkins will have good fixtures at the start of the season. He's got main man. He's just looking reliable, steady Eddie pick, right? So if I want to have my sexy picks in Munoz, Rutter, Reinders, and Pedro, I'm balancing them with slightly more reliable picks in Sells, Tarkowski, Murillo, Wirtz, Palmer, Salah, Watkins. That's how I'm seeing the balance in my squad. I can also go Watkins to Dom. I had a Bruno draft earlier, which I didn't speak about. But Bruno means I have to turn Bruno to Rutter. It means if I have Bruno instead of Jorginho Rutter, then I have to go Munoz down to Richards. I have to go Taco down to Anderson. I have to go Murillo down to Williams. And I have to go Saz down to 4.5 million keeper. Now, because Bruno faces Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, and Fulham in the first 5 weeks, and just Burnley is a threatening fixture, I'm just willing to take it on. And I'll be happy if United score anyway because it's Bruno. But I just think that there could be a world in which the goal share is higher, where Cunha, Bumo, Seško get a higher percentage of points. We don't know how United are going to function. Could just be that Seško gets, but I just don't see a world in which Bruno's a bad pick, man. He's got DEFCON potential. He's got pens, 90-minute guy. He's Bruno Fernandes. He's as decisive as they come. But I want to chase the ceiling with the picks that I'm going for, where I'm trying to have a stronger defense, a punty pick and Rutter. So that's where I am. If I want a middling option, I could go Watkins down to a Solanke and then get Bruno and then not have to sacrifice too many positions, which I think is going to become the meta. Like if I go Watkins down to Bruno, Watkins down to Solanke, that's 1.5 million saved. And to go from Rooter to Bruno, Rooter 6 million. Bruno's 9 million and 3 million. So 1.5 million is already covered here. What else do I need to? I just need to shave off 1.5 million from my defense. That's Munoz down to Richards. And that's, let's say that's Tarkowski down to Anderson. And that's Murillo down to Williams. And I'm there. So if you want to go for a draft like that, you could do something like that. Yeah, Sar versus Rogers versus Rooter is still open. Kuku and Aitnuri are still on the radar, like I told you guys. Just a little bit of forward planning that I've done with this team. If you're looking at the defense, Palmer's captain in Game Week 2 against West Ham. I can still captain Mo Salah. And then what happens in terms of rotation? I can bench Murillo because I've got Cells. So I split the difference between Cells and Murillo. And Munoz, Tarkowski, and Dorgu play. Dorgu plays Fulham away. Now, this is obviously going to be form dependent and how we see the teams play out, etc. as well. And presuming I don't make any transfers, I might make transfers. I'm open to that. In Game Week 3, I can bench Jorginho Rutter against City. And then Munoz, Tarkowski, Dorgu, who has Burnley at home, and Murillo can all play. In Game Week 4, Dorgu has City away and Murillo has Arsenal away. So that's tough fixtures, which is why the which is why the Leeds defender is important. So Rodon can come in. And Tarkowski and Munoz have good fixtures anyway. So Rodon, who's got Fulham away, I can just throw him in the mixer if need be. Otherwise, I can play Dorgu Murillo and hope to spike like attacking returns or DEFCON points. In Game Week 5, I can bench Dorgu at Chelsea at home. I can bench Tarkowski. And Rodon again has Wolves away, which is a decent fixture. Game Week 4 and 5 is when I need a defender. And if I remember correctly, actually, I can just maybe throw in Anderson there as well. Because if I remember correctly, he's got a good 4 and 5, man. Yeah, man, he's got Leeds at home and Brentford at home. 4 and 5. That's a lot more reliable. But where do I find the money from, man? Don't have the money, so I'll just throw in a cheap defender. And I can just see if I can... If Murillo's spiking DEFCON points in every game and their defense is looking decent, I can just play Murillo. I don't need to bench him in Game Week 4 and 5, which is what I'm thinking of doing, right? Game Week 6 also, I can bench Munoz because he's got Liverpool. And then Tarkowski, Murillo, and Dorgu all have good fixtures, man. So that's how the rotation works as well. This is my current draft. Maybe my final draft. I told you what the maybe positions are. That's where I'm with my team. Let me know what your thoughts are and hit like and subscribe. Yeah, we are 700 likes away from hitting our target of 40,000 subscribers before the start of the season. And I would appreciate if you guys could get us to 1,000 likes on this video. I think that's fair and respectable to us because our views to likes ratio is very, very low. So if you could help us with that. And if you've got any questions, I'll try answering them in this video as well. So let me know in the comments, especially the questions that come on the first day. I'll try answering them. Good luck this week, guys, and good luck this season, guys. And we'll probably see you on Deadline Stream on Friday. Take care, guys.